Welcome back, everybody. It is Sarcasm Speaks. This is Jared. He's Bob. There is Bob. I guess that would be the proper prepositional phrase. This is Jared. That is Bob. That's what it would be. We got a lot of news going on. Obviously, we are, like we say all the time, we are not a news outlet. We comment on news, so we are more like dumb news commentators. I would say we give our own idiotic takes on real news that's going on. There's been a lot of real news that's been going on since we last, joined you in your ears or on your computer and on your YouTube, whatever you're watching us on. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. If you're watching, click that subscribe button. I think it's like there or there. I don't know. Give us a thumbs up down there and tell everybody you know about the show too. Before we get to like the big news, I got to talk about me because I am obviously the most important thing of all the news. I am more important than any news that happens in the world.
I mean, this is partly your show.
Yeah. So before we talk about, give our stupid commentary on what's actually going on in the world, I shot my best round, quite possibly of my entire life today on the golf course this morning. And it was all because of your method. What is it called again? I know it's not your method, but you talked about it before last time when we were together.
What method? I don't have a method. Do I have a method?
I don't know. Your
What did you do? Let's make this simple. What did you
your
do?
autistic method of just saying words.
So like using an external locus of attention.
Yes. Yeah. What's the method? Is there like an actual method called? Oh, I thought it was like a name. Nope. There was a name for it.
External. It's just an external.
Oh, what's the other thing that you use? It's like based on math.
That's a system called decade.
That's what it is. The decade system.
Right. Yeah, but decade is choosing. It's using math to choose your targets. You got to plan ahead.
Okay. All right. So
all you were doing was using an external locus of attention.
Correct.
To play.
So I get out there and I just start like talking to myself essentially. Off the tee has been fine no matter what. So I've just been taking it nice and easy, hitting driver off the tee, whatever. I've been struggling with hitting anything that's not a driver off the tee until today. All around, I had, like I said, probably the best round of my life. Like, ball striking was good. My putting was fucking phenomenal. And it all was using the external locus of control. So, for example, just on a random hole that I will just choose out of nowhere, I hit my tee shot. Let's say I hit driver, and it was in the fairway. Let me use one of an actual real example. On 12. So I hit my tee shot, and it goes right down the middle of the fairway. So actually, this is the hole with like a big drop. So after I hit my drive, I like hit the hill, like mid-hill, and it just kept rolling. And so it's a 337 yard hole. I think I had 116 to the pin, maybe. I don't know.
Sounds reasonable.
So I look and I'm lining up and I have a pitching wedge and I'm kind of just looking there and I go bunker. And then I set up and I just swing and I hit it and it goes on the green. And I'm like, I don't know. It's like the pin was back right, so it's like uphill with a left to right break, and my ball landed like, left side of the green, center left. So I've got like probably at least a 25-foot putt. So I hit the putt and I try to line it up. I hit it. I'm short like 7 feet. So now I have a 7-foot putt for par. And I go and I look and I just look at the hole and I say, click. And then I hit the putt and it goes in.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm lining it up to before with the putting, but what I've been doing, and I had 1, 2, 3, I had 4 1-putts today, and I don't think any of them was from within 5 feet. Like my shortest 1-putt might have been like 5, 6 feet. They're probably all somewhere between 5 and 10 feet. I hit one that might have been 12-ish, but it was probably closer to 10. I'm just a dumbass. I hit one really long one for a 1-putt. And it's literally all I did was just like focus on other shit. So, like I said, I hit my drive decent if I'm in the fairway, and I look and I go tree, or I go bunker, or like those are pretty much the only 2 things that I say. But then I just line up and I just swing and I hit it, and it goes like relatively close to where I want it to go. And it works. And now also off the tee, now that I finally understand how to hit an iron without using a tee, like using the stomp, like the smack and stomp method, hitting phenomenal iron shots off the tee using the smack and stomp method. It's wild. Like on what's the first par 3? 13. So at Chamawa,
Does it go up the hill?
No, down the hill. It's the road is on the left. There's a bridge with water, and then there's water on the right. You have like it's like this. You have like a little narrow area to hit it through. So I'm lining up on the tee box. And
I'm thinking of 11.
Oh yeah.
11 goes up the hill.
Yes, that's the one that's a pain in the dick. It goes up the hill.
13 road. Oh, you know what? That's like a hole at Allendale.
So
I think
the pin was middle right. It was like it was kind of fucked. There was like it was maybe 6 feet off the right side of the green. So I line up a little bit to the left, like the left side, left green side bunker, and I go bunker. And I swing and I hit it and it goes up and it hits a fade. It hits the fringe and bounces off the right side. So I'm not on the green, but I'm just off the right side in the rough. But I literally have, I don't know, a 15-foot chip shot. So I hit the chip on and I have like 4 feet to the pin, 1-putt in, par. It's like little things like that. I'm like, holy fuck. Like, is this what golf is supposed to be like? And I'm just like, and I'm almost like not paying attention. I'm just going and like focusing on other shit. And I'm like, that's what I've been doing wrong. Now, granted, I'm going to go out the next time I play and shoot, 32 over. But, just for this one example of today, like I said, this is the best round I collectively. Because, I've had rounds where I hit driver. Every time I hit driver, it's down center fairway, but sometimes other shit goes to shit. Or I've had times where like I hit irons really well, but I can't get off the tee. Or I've had times where, everything is good until I get to the green and I can't putt. You know what I mean? I've never been able to put a collective game together. And today was that day. And it just so happened that it was also the day I decided to use like the external locus of control.
So the fun part about this is that, like everything, it's really easy at first.
Until it's not.
Yeah. Which is what I'm going through right now.
Did you go through like a similar situation where like it was kind of good at the beginning?
Yeah, it was really good. And it's like, I still like it, but then it's like, I just catch myself just struggling to continue to do it. Like it's
yeah.
Like a lot of these, like, especially like these mental things, it sounds so easy. It's like, oh, dude, just pick your target.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I catch myself. It's like, fuck, I was like trying to shape a shot. And it's like, I know I can't shape it. Right. And I know trying to shape a shot is the worst fucking thing I can do.
Yeah.
It is no, because I did this. I went to the range I'm like, all right, well, flag. Hit it at the flag. I'm like, all right, telephone pole. Hit it at the telephone pole. I go, hit a draw. Worst shot.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, all right, well, just brush the ground. Hit that. That would go okay. It's like, all right, well, hit that little blade of grass on the ground. All right. Think of that telephone pole. All right, telephone pole. Hit a cut.
Yeah.
Pull.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Shot shapes don't work for me. They work for some people.
Yeah.
Probably works well for Bubba Watson. The same way thinking like wrist hinge probably works for Bryson DeChambeau.
Right.
But like what I found myself doing today, and I played on Wednesday. I played like shit on Wednesday too. Like I just found myself struggling to get there, and it's like it's fucking hard. Like mental shit is hard. Like, and I know it's because I'm too stupid, but it's like fuck. It's like gymnastics, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's a constant fucking battle, and it's why the sport. It's why, like we say, sport sucks because it does suck, but it's also awesome at the same time because it's what makes it addicting. It's the same thing as getting addicted to gambling and drugs and all this shit. Because I'm sitting here today riding high on my fucking connotation horse because I just shot. So everyone's like, well, "What do you mean you shot well?" I shot a 5 over, at just
4 over,
just the local course.
Isn't it 4 over?
5, 37, 32. It's a 32 on the back.
What's it? 33 for the women?
Yeah. Oh. The 18th hole is a par 5 for women.
Oh, okay.
So I had 1, 2, 3, 4 bogeys, 3 pars, a birdie, and 1 double bogey. So that was a 5 over. Like it was just, I had, like I said before, 4 1 putts. Like it was just, that it's the best round I've ever played in my entire life. Collectively.
Yeah. So the challenge is going to be when things aren't quite going the way you need to, can you stick to that? Because right now I fucking can't.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking trying.
Yeah.
But then it's like I still just get stuck in fucking. I still get stuck in like the mechanics, or I still get stuck in like, swing.
You feel like you're always stuck in second gear.
Oh, I feel like that's some fucking song I hate.
The dumbest show ever.
Oh, it's the Friends theme song.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm like, what 90s, 2000s alternative rock song does that come from?
Yeah, no, it's the dumbest show ever. I just made a lot of people angry with that statement, but it's dumb. Seinfeld is superior.
So here's my official stance on Friends. A lot of people want Friends. It usually gets pinned up against Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And if we're going to make a general divide, men like Seinfeld, women like Friends, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Friends is fine. It really is, because so Michaela wanted to watch the reunion, so we did. And like episodes have been on because the reunion was on. It's like it's happening right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there are funny parts to it.
Yeah.
It's like I am not going to fucking go to battle over whether it's better than Seinfeld or not. Because really they're both the same thing. They really are the same thing. They're both shows about nothing.
It is very literally a sitcom. Like sitcom is short for situational comedy. Like
they're shows about nothing.
They're both literally sitcoms.
And that's what Seinfeld, like, it's the show about nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the whole joke. It's like,
it's
that's
like
all these shows are.
It was kind of, in a way, it laid the foundation for people to want to like reality shows. Because it was like, it was fiction, obviously.
Yeah.
But they were both about these random people's lives.
Right.
Like fictional lives.
Yeah.
So like, in a way, it's kind of like a reality show, but it's not. And because Seinfeld and Friends were so popular, that almost kind of like opened the door for reality TV. Because people, like, I would imagine these people are pretty smart, these producers and writers and everything.
Yeah, and it's like, what do people like about this show?
They probably looked at it and was like, well, Friends and Seinfeld are the most two most popular shows ever, probably, circa 2003 to 2005. And it was like, these are the two most popular shows ever. What do people like about it? Oh, they like that it's like situational real life stuff. Why don't we just give them real life stuff? And then enter Jersey Shore in, what was that, 2008, 2009? You know what I mean? It was shortly after Friends and Seinfeld, probably. So,
well, the other thing too is like, so obviously the first reality show was The Real World.
Well, yeah,
which is scripted.
Yeah,
or
and
it's
written.
Also it's written.
It was also, wasn't it like more game showy? Because I feel like old school, like original reality TV, like Road Rules.
Road Rules 100% was more game showy.
Real World and Survivor. Those are your three original reality TVs. But they were more, I feel like they were more game showy.
Well,
because I feel like Jersey Shore is the show that changed everything.
I'm trying to think if there was anything in between. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of what because I don't watch a lot of TV like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't know. It was weird. That was a weird time. Like in between, there was like Cribs.
Yeah, yeah. MTV Cribs.
Punked.
Yep. The Jamie Kennedy Experiment.
Would you call Viva La Bam a reality show?
I don't know. Would you call Jackass a reality show?
Well, Jackass.
They were in the middle. It was like everything in the middle was just like weird.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Early 2000s was a weird fucking time, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Like think of the clothes, the music, the TV. It was fucking weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess you can say that about any era.
Yeah, I guess.
Although was the late 2000s all that weird?
I don't think so. I feel like the late 2000s was, and like early 2010s was like taken over
What
by...
happened?
I feel like that was...
Did anything happen?
It was taken over by Jersey Shore. Like it was the culture change. Like everyone was wearing Affliction. People were wearing shirts that were way too tight. Everyone was tanning all the time. You know what I mean? Like Jersey Shore literally changed American culture.
Ooh, you see, I don't want to give it that much credit because those people were doing that even before then.
Well, yeah, but it gave them...
Like, remember Haas?
It gave them validation. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That never changed.
No. And then, obviously, the Kardashians are,
Yeah, okay, so I guess they would
Number
probably...
one.
I'm like, because
So
I'm genuinely trying to think, like, what happened?
It's like Jersey Shore is like...
And where the fuck was I?
It was like Nikola Tesla, and the Kardashians were Thomas Edison. Like Jersey Shore was the first one, but the Kardashians were the ones that perfected it.
And Jackass was Ben Franklin, who invented electricity.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to, like, yeah, because remember, like, Life of Ryan Sheckler?
Yeah, yeah.
That was a weird show.
Robin Big. That was a show
That was
on for a
a
little
touch
while.
later.
Yeah.
Then there was, like, what, Made in True Life?
Yeah. Actually, there were two shows. It was Jersey Shore and it was Teen Mom. Oh, yeah. Those were the two shows that kind of laid the foundation for reality TV. Or 16 and Pregnant? Which one came first?
I don't know.
Because one of them was the original. It might have been 16 and Pregnant was the original.
Well, I guess you have to be pregnant before you become a mom.
Yeah, so I think...
So chronologically speaking.
I think 16 and Pregnant was the original show, and then it did so well, they turned it into Teen Mom now that they actually had, like, the babies. I still remember that show. The original one, the girl Amber.
So that was...
Who's the original cast?
You might have still been in high school when that came out.
Amber, Macy.
I fucking do not.
Macy was like the petite, like redhead girl or strawberry blonde. Macy was the girl that was a little bit thicker. I don't know if Farrah was one of the original ones. She's became a porn star.
I don't know who any of these people. So I didn't actually watch either of those.
Yeah.
So I
clearly did.
Obviously. So I was gonna say, yeah, I don't know who, what, why.
Yeah.
But how did we get on that?
I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. We just blew 20 minutes talking about bullshit.
Wow.
We went from me playing really well in golf to teen mom.
How the fuck? I genuinely, like, seriously.
I don't know. You give us enough time, we can connect every.
No,
you know
no,
how they say
I got
like
it, I got it.
every argument always leads to Adolf Hitler. Like every fucking I don't know dumbass conversation between us will lead to something stupid.
I mean, he doesn't need to lead there. He usually starts and
Yeah,
just
that's fair.
finds another stupid place to go to.
Tangentially as stupid.
I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah, so that's that, I guess.
So I hope our points were very clear about that.
Yeah, I don't even know what my original point was.
I don't
know.
I don't either.
Oh well.
I just figured it out. I was saying that I suck at golf.
Oh.
You mentioned the Friends theme song.
Oh.
Then we compare and contrasted Friends and this is someone listening must be like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I know he said like he's autistic because he says tree and then hits a ball. It's like, holy shit. They must actually be that stupid because it's been like fucking 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So just remember to be autistic all the time and you'll be good at golf.
All right, cool. I got it. All right. Just be more retarded.
The more retarded you can be, the better, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it works for Dustin Johnson. And probably Bryson. He's like a math retard.
I actually got to listen to the DJ. He finally got on the interview. Remember that last
yeah,
week?
Yeah.
I was like with foreplay. It's like hour 45 minutes. I'm like, I've been listening for fucking ever. Where the fuck is Dustin Johnson? I don't care about fucking the guys with foreplay. Like Trent can't break 100. I don't fucking care. I could. You don't need to go to fucking Sea Island, Georgia to find out the fucking the certain instructor. You don't need him. I can get Trent to break 100.
Yeah.
It's not that fucking hard.
Right.
It's not, what you would call traditional golf, but I can fucking do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just give me the fucking hits. Give me DJ.
Yeah. What did it end up being pretty good?
It's DJ.
It was fine. Yeah.
The funny thing about DJ is I've heard him a couple times and so like people will ask him like, oh, like, how do you handle like, hitting bad shots or struggling with your game? He goes, I hit tons of bad shots because I hit a lot of good ones too. What does it matter? Because bad shot doesn't matter. He goes, I hit a lot of them because I'm always going to too.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, pal.
Yeah, I mean.
All right. Well, like I said at the top of the show, we got some real news that's going on. I'm just trying to decide what I want to go with first.
I fucking hate news. I feel like it always just makes me mad.
All right. Let me start with this one. You hear about what was going on in Canada?
What?
With the school?
What? No. Okay.
The dead children. Okay.
Why are there dead children in Canada?
All right. So, more than 200 bodies of children have been found at an Indigenous school in Canada. So, to give you a background on this,
the natives.
Yes, the natives, the Indigenous peoples of Canada.
Descendants of Leif Erikson.
Yes. This is Kamloops, British Columbia. The remains of 215 children, some as young as 3 years old, have been found buried on the site of what was once Canada's largest Indigenous residential school, one of the institutions that held children taken from families across the nation. So, just to give you like a cliff notes on this, this school existed from, I don't know, the 19-teens. I don't know. We'll call it 1915. I'm making numbers up here. This school existed from 1915 up until 1996. So this says right here, from the early 19th century until the 1970s, more than 150,000 First Nations children were required to attend state-funded Christian schools as part of a program to assimilate them into Canadian society.
Fuck, I thought we treated our fucking natives bad.
They were forced to convert to Christianity and not allowed to speak their native languages. Many were beaten and verbally abused, and up to 6,000 are said to have died. And that's just reported.
Right.
So this particular school in Kamloops, because I've heard different podcasts talk about it, and I've read a little bit on it. So I'm going to mishmash everything and put my own spin on it, because fuck it, why not? Again, this isn't a news show.
Yeah, don't let facts get in the way of a good argument.
Yeah, no. So originally, this school in Kamloops, on the record, has 51 deaths reported. They found 215 bodies buried in this one location. Now, the
Quadruple.
the line underneath the headline, I don't know what it's called. It's not the byline, but the secondary headline is officials say more bodies may be found because there are more areas to search on the school grounds. So in one spot, they found 215 bodies. There were 51 reported deaths.
Yeah, so we're already a quarter.
Where, yeah,
They must have. It must be like
four
a tenth.
times. We're already 4 times more than what's been reported.
It's got to be like a tenth, then you think?
I would
right?
imagine. Yeah, I would imagine it's
Like
probably
$5,000.
It's
$5,000. Like
$5,000.
it's money.
Yeah,
5,000.
I would imagine it's probably going to be somewhere around 5,000.
Although to uncover another 4,800 is a lot.
That's a lot. So 215 and one, that probably around 1,000. I would say there's probably going to be around 1,000. If they found 215 in one area.
Yeah, if not, I don't know how many areas there are.
Yeah, I don't know how big this is. So anyway, this is again, quick cliff notes here. So we'll call it early 19th century. This school was put in place. These indigenous children were taken from their families and sent to the school. All indigenous children were forced to attend some sort of school, some sort of assimilation school, where they were not allowed to speak their native language, and they were forced to convert to Christianity. Somewhere, now I might be making this part up, but I think somewhere around the 60s or the 70s. Actually, here we go. Kamloops School operated between 1890 and 1969 when the federal government took over operations from, wait for it, the Catholic Church, because we know the Catholic Church is very reputable.
Right.
And they've never done anything bad against children.
Nope.
Right? They're super straight edge. Mm-hmm. They don't have a history of doing anything wrong with children.
Nope. Not that I've heard of.
Fantastic organization.
Yep.
Yeah, you should definitely keep supporting them. So the Catholic Church was involved, and they were trying to convert all of these indigenous kids to Christianity. And the school ran up until 1996. So I do want to be fair. I believe throughout the 70s and the 80s, the school did kind of change. So originally it was, it was like a forced assimilation. There's been reports of beatings, sexual misconduct, obviously deaths. Clear. There's been all kinds of abuse. Every single kind of abuse you can imagine probably happened at this place. And then I think sometime around the 70s and the 80s, things started to shift a little bit. And there might have been less abuse, but things changed slightly. And then the school was closed for good in 1996. So in both of our lifetimes, in the lifetimes of most of the people that probably listen to this show, I mean, there's like fucking 50 of them. I would gather that there's probably 1996 would make you 25. Maybe there's a couple people that are younger than 25 that listen to the show, but I would gather most of the 50 people that listen to this show were alive during the time when this was happening. So this isn't like because everyone likes to talk about like slavery in the United States. Oh, well, yeah, what happened in the 1800s and the 1700s, 1800s, by, 1876 was the Emancipation Proclamation. And then, by the early 1900s, there was, rights and then the civil rights movement in the 50s. And it's like, no. This school was open until 1996. 25 years ago.
Yeah.
25 years ago, this school was still in operation. So there hasn't been any information that has come out that like dated these kids and the skeletons and deaths. So it very well could be that like the deaths, like the latest death was like, 1975.
Yeah.
But we don't know. That information has not come out yet. So there's all this fucking uproar now of all this like, oh, whatever. And good old JT, Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister in Canada.
Okay.
You know what he did? He came out and he said, yeah, this is bad. The Catholic Church should apologize for what they did. And now everyone's like, hey, Mr. Prime Minister, what do you call Senor Prime Minister? The Canadian government was in charge of this place for like 50 fucking years.
So I also want to know, like, was the Catholic Church going and picking these kids up?
Yes, they were involved, which is a whole other thing.
So I want to know your thoughts on the actual logistics of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like the bunch of fucking nuns rolled up on the fucking reservation.
No.
And goes, hey, we're going to take your kids. And the natives are like, oh, shit, you're a nun. I guess you have to take them.
Yeah. So the way it kind of worked was these people didn't have rights. So it's not like they could complain or like sue or take anyone to court because they weren't viewed as people.
Yeah.
By Canadian law.
Right.
So, and you're right, it wasn't like nuns rolling in.
Yeah.
But what's happening right now, which actually, if anyone that watches or follows is following the Drinkin' Bros podcast, this is actually they're talking about this. And Dan Holloway, who is one of my favorites, it has been on the Alex Jones show. Just that I said that name, there's like a 75% chance our YouTube video like doesn't work now. So it's that bad. They really don't like Alex Jones. So now 80%. Now that I said it twice, we're gonna have a magical. Your video is not loading.
Copyright issues.
Yeah. So Dan Holloway has been on that show to talk about this. It's going on right now in this country. There are these people that are being paid for and facilitated by the Catholic Church that are taking immigrants, whether it's legal, illegal. Most of them are probably illegal, but they are picking them up at the airport. They're handing them like manila envelopes with like packets of information, and giving them signs to hold up that says like, I don't speak English, please help me, like things like that. And they're just kind of being like pushed and like thrown different places in the country. There was this big thing in the news that just came out that children of illegal immigrants are being flown all across the country. It went so far as one of the legislators in Tennessee. I don't know whether it was House or like a representative or a Senate person, but some congressional representative in Tennessee just fucking exploded because he found out that people were like children, like illegal children, were being flown from airports in Texas into Tennessee and then being like ushered into like no one knows. So I'm telling you guys, like, do a little Google search, like try and look into it a little bit more. The name of the organization, I believe, is called MVM. They're ex-military guys, but a lot of the money can be traced back to the Catholic Church. and it's very sketchy. It makes my skin crawl to hear Dan talk about it, because I listen to Drinking Bros podcast pretty regularly. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Dan Holloway and his no bullshit attitude. It's bad, for lack of a better word. The information is out there. If you guys want to Google it and look at it on your own, you're more than welcome. If not, continue to live in ignorance, which is fine too. I mean, ignorance is bliss. But so I digress. So the Catholic Church has been involved with some sketchy shit for years, if decades, if not centuries,
forever,
since its inception. Say what you want about the inception of everything. It was used mainly to control populations and have them abide by certain laws and rules, which aren't a bad thing. If you think about like the whole 10 Commandment thing, it's not a bad thing. Like, that's how you want societies to run. But whatever, that could be a whole other. I could spend fucking 6 hours talking about religion and stupidness.
Please don't.
I won't.
Thank God.
But yeah, it's not good. So the Catholic Church has been involved with this school in Canada with these Indigenous kids. They were running it. They were funding it. They were involved in, I don't want to call it the trafficking of these children. That term might be a little hot and a little too harsh. But they were definitely involved in the transportation of these children. And then probably in the deaths. Like, if you're funding this school, like, you're now culpable in what happens at the school. And there are 215 deaths 215 bodies that they found in one spot. Like, this is not good. So Canadian government, you can go fuck yourself, because they've been like poo-pooing the United States forever. And you're just as fucking bad.
Actually worse, I would say.
Yeah, probably. And
because you did it a lot later. That's the big thing.
Yeah. I mean, we did it, to be fair, also, we did put all Asian Americans. It wasn't just Japanese, but we did put all Asian Americans in internment camps in the 1940s.
Yep.
We didn't differentiate. We said, oh, well, it's the Japanese ones because we have to be safe because we don't know because, Pearl Harbor. And it's like, no. You were scooping up fucking Koreans that had nothing to do with anything.
Yep.
They all looked the same to you, so you just put them in an internment camp. Very fucked up. But again, to be fair, that hasn't happened since 1946, 47. Probably.
Yeah, but again, someone's going to say, well, it's happening right now with the immigrants and the illegal immigrants. You don't know what's happening at the border. I'm like, I fucking live in Massachusetts. Yeah. I'm not going to know what's going on at the border.
No.
But if this is being reported in Canada, well, how bad actually is it?
It also came out, and this was all known. The school is known. So I guess the Canadian government came out in 2008, I think, and actually classified it as a genocide. They said the Canadian government participated in a genocide of this Indigenous people. So the government condemned itself in 2008, whatever, for all the actions. You know who the prime minister was during most of this?
No, because I don't know any Canadian prime ministers.
Justin Trudeau's father. So Justin Trudeau's response to this new thing was the Catholic Church needs to repent, to use terms.
See, that was my whole point. I was going to say the Catholic Church school, Catholic Church.
Yeah.
They're not just operating by themselves. Someone's helping them out.
Right.
And I just figured the Canadian government was helping them do their thing.
Yeah, they're both equal pieces of shit.
Yeah. So fucking fucked up though. That's all I got. I mean, there's no other reaction to it.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you didn't bring it up, I would have had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
96.
Yep. The school was operational until 1996.
It's amazing that I don't know. They thought they were a threat, or because they're not a fucking threat.
No, they were never a threat.
So why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's an example of why white people ruin everything.
Yeah.
It's because the British came over to Canada. Canada is still technically, I think, a province of Great Britain. or United Kingdom, whatever the fuck it's called. They still have the Queen on their money. So that's good enough for me. We have the greatest president of all time on our $100 bill.
We do.
We do.
He invented freedom.
He did, and electricity. So I don't know where I got tangent sized.
So I think what you were getting at, I think I know what you were saying. This is all Britain's fault.
Yes. Oh,
It's England.
white people ruined everything. So what it was
specifically England.
Yes, is white people came over and was like, "Oh, there's brown people here. We need to send them to quote schools." And it's like, no. Well, we need to assimilate them to civil society. It's like civil society means dick to these people because they've lived here just as long as you lived in Britain, if not longer. I would go as so far to say the indigenous people in North America lived in North America longer than people have lived in Great Britain because people migrated to Great Britain from probably the Mediterranean, from Italy and Greece and from eventually originally the Middle East.
Why would you leave those countries to go to fucking England?
Exactly. You know what I mean? But hey,
what asshole decided?
Newsflash. There's a massive fucking ocean in between. So that's why I would say the indigenous people to North America were there way fucking longer than the people that were in Great Britain or England, area.
So what asshole was like, wow,
I want to go north.
Southern Italy and Greece is so shitty.
Yeah.
You know what we need? Weather that sucks. Food that's terrible.
Yep.
And fuck it, let's go to an island.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they didn't know that the food was going to suck, and they didn't know the weather was going to suck until they got there, but they could have turned around and went back.
I'm just like who decided Wales? I'm going to go to Wales.
Yeah.
Like the first of the Wales clan.
Yeah.
Goes,
well, Wales didn't really exist.
I declare this Wales.
But it was just ground that they were like, this is
now Wales.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what fucking asshole did that?
A big one.
They must have got fucking kicked out.
Yeah.
Like, they must have been left with no other option.
Yeah.
There's no way you end up in Northern Europe by choice.
I would also go as far to say that the island that holds Great Britain and Ireland and all that shit was probably one of the last places to be settled in Europe because it's a fucking island. So if you assuming all people originated from Africa and the Middle East and then, they kind of worked their way north, you would then have the Greeks and the Romans. They lived there and then they eventually moved into the fuck was it called? The Sudetenland, which was now it's present day Germany and Poland. Like you had I can't remember what they were called. Not the Ottomans, because that was Turkey. The Teutonics? I don't know. It doesn't matter. There's people that, then migrated from Greece and Italy. They moved north, probably into Germany and Poland, like that area. And then once they populated that area, then they had to physically cross water to get to fucking the island that houses Great Britain and Ireland. So that's what I mean. Like, these fucking people, you haven't really been there that long. In the grand scheme of things, you haven't been there that long. So you show up in Canada and you're like, oh, these people are uncivil. We need to send them to school to make them learn English and get them rid them of their fucking, I can't think of any words. Did I have a stroke? Not cannibalistic, primitive ways. We have to rid them of their primitive ways. It's like, no, you're just a fucking loser. And now you're committing genocide, which now the Canadian government has admitted to. So it's fucked, dude. It's fucked. The sad thing is they probably will find more bodies now that they're actually going to start looking. Because truthfully, I don't know how they found these. I don't know if they were looking for them or something happened. I have no idea. I don't know if maybe they were doing construction because the school's been closed for 25 years and then they just found skeleton. I don't know. I don't know how they were originally found. But there's at least 215 of them buried there. and there was only 51 deaths reported in the entirety of the existence of the school. From the early 19th century to 1996, 51 reported deaths. But they found 215 bodies.
Yeah, I don't know how they lost count.
Yeah. So that's that fucking rant. This is a fun one.
It's not about children murder?
No, it's about grandparents' murder. Fauci dog, the wonderful Anthony Fauci.
Yeah, I mean, everyone loves him.
Yeah, well, not anymore, because they found a bunch of emails from the past year that he had and exchanged with people, and come to find out, he had made mention that masks don't actually work. I believe the closer the again, this isn't a direct quote, but I believe what he said was something along the lines of commercial masks will not work to prevent this virus because it is too small and it can travel through any non-professional masks or something like that.
Okay.
Written in an email. So let's rewind to February of 2020 when Dr. Fauci gave an interview and said, yeah, people probably shouldn't buy masks. They don't work. Then fast forward a little bit to April of 2020, and he said, yeah, everyone should be wearing masks. Now, anybody that came out and said, well, 2 months ago you said not to wear a mask was looked at like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. You don't understand science. You don't understand how science works. Science changes. People can think one thing one day, and then the science shows them something else. You need to believe science, okay? And now Anthony Fauci says that we need to wear masks, so we have to wear masks. Because his personal emails show that the science says commercially available masks don't work. They didn't work. Which we sat here, our two dumbasses sat here and said, maybe because we're both retarded, we're both good at pattern recognitions. We both sat here and we said, when did most states in the country institute mandatory mask mandates? Sometime around May, June of 2020. What happened to all the cases from May, June till September? They went up. So we sat here as idiots saying, well, this is correlation. You know, we can't determine causation if we're sticking to this whole science thing. But you would assume that if masks worked, cases would go down. But how dare we say that? We're extreme right-wing extremists. We probably follow Alex Jones.
3 times 90% chance this YouTube.
Yeah, it's
this
not.
doesn't make YouTube.
It's not going on YouTube. We are just idiots, and we were able to recognize, hey, guys, does anyone else notice this pattern, or am I just stacking rocks in ascending sizes because it's fun for me? Like what the fuck? Come to find out, here we go. Fauci dog knew it the entire time. He lied.
Technically, he played both sides.
That's
he was
fair.
right in February 2020.
You're right. He was playing both sides, so he comes out on top.
That's probably why he
That's how
wanted
this
us to
works.
wear 7 masks, because if the molecule's too small and get through, like all the different mask layers will make it really difficult to get through.
Yep. So then there's, I think it was 3,200 emails were released from him.
Fuck, that's a lot.
Over the year.
That's gonna be like
there's
16.
a lot of really funny memes too. It's like one of my favorite memes is like it's like cartoonized of Fauci sitting at like a desk, like one of those old high school desks. You know, you sit, it's got like the built-in desk in it, and it like wraps around. And Hillary is behind him and like hands him a note. And then in the next like window, he opens the note, and the note says, "You should have deleted those emails," which I thought was pretty fucking good. But in another one, he sent an email in the early days of COVID-19 saying that he thinks it may have leaked from a laboratory in Wuhan, China. And then he came out publicly and said, no, there's no way this came from a lab.
You're going to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll save my follow-up questions for the end.
So the other thing that came out, so this, what people, before these emails came out, so recently in the past couple weeks, I don't know if you noticed, in the past couple weeks, there have been things in the news that said, well, we think maybe this was from a lab leak, the mainstream media. So when they were questioned on it as to why now you're saying this, you know what the legitimate response from mainstream media corporations was? Well, at the time, leadership was erratic, and we didn't think that we could believe anything that came from, you know, the previous administration. They never said Donald Trump, but they said leadership, like previous administration, you know, like vague terms. So they're saying we didn't want to believe it because it came from Trump.
So that's why he's running his mouth right now?
Yes. Yep. So you have these people that were like, so Donald Trump comes out and says, again, pattern recognition here. We're just two retards on a fucking home camera in a random room in our house. There's a high security biological lab in Wuhan, China. There is an outbreak of a disease in Wuhan, China. Media tells us, no, it came from a bat. The president at the time says, I think it might have come from this lab. I think there was a leak in the lab. Media then says, there's zero chance it came. We talked about this on the show before. Yep. All of the reports that came out was, there's no chance. There's literally zero chance.
It's literally impossible.
Literally impossible that it came from this lab. Are you fucking kidding me? How stupid do you think we are? Like, I know we're retarded, but we're not stupid.
Hey, a lot of people are really stupid because a lot of people believe that shit.
Over 90%. What are we at now? 95%?
I'd call it 93.
We're approaching the effectiveness of the Pfizer vaccine in the amount of people that are stupid.
And the likelihood that this video will not make it to YouTube.
Yes, exactly. So there's all kinds of shit that's coming out. People are ripping Fauci up and down. There are people that are coming out and doubling down. I think CNN released an article that like doubled down in support of Fauci, that they kind of then tripled down in a way on saying like, well, Fauci had to go against Trump because no one could trust what he was saying. So even if Fauci believed the same thing that Trump did, he did the right thing by not aligning with him. And it's like, what? Do you guys listen to yourselves?
Sounds like a 6-year-old trying to talk himself out of getting in trouble.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going on right now. So,
question for you.
Yes.
Regarding any of this.
Yeah.
In your travels, is there any link to maybe not Fauci himself, but something that he's involved in actually funding this lab?
Yes.
Okay.
It's called gain of function research. So in a nutshell, gain of function is the study of deadly disease and accelerating it to prepare for the future.
Well, and that fits the idea that the Wuhan lab was researching coronaviruses.
Correct.
Which is nothing wrong with that.
No. Like, I don't understand why
that's so hard to admit.
Why we couldn't have been like, yeah, some dickhead probably fucking spilt something and it got stuck to his shoe.
Yeah, it was his first day.
And when he walked home, he released COVID-19 into the world. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to say it was an accident.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't need, we don't need to be like, well, I don't think China deliberately released. It doesn't have to be a deliberate release. It could have been some fucking idiot. Like I said, he spilt something on the ground and stepped in it, and it got stuck to the bottom of his shoe and then released into the world.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter how. That's the thing is like...
Yeah, it doesn't matter how. It got out. It came from the lab.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, how could they let that happen? It was a fucking accident.
Yeah. How did Fukushima fucking melt down? Like, it was an accident.
They shouldn't let that happen.
Yeah. Well, how could that happen?
They shouldn't let that volcano ruin Pompeii.
Yeah. So like I said, gain of function research, what it is it's biologically advancing viruses. So it is highly controversial because
Obviously,
because
of what just happened.
if something were to get out, because essentially what they do, I don't even want to use coronavirus. Let's use the influenza virus. So what that is they would take the flu virus and they would genetically engineer it to evolve quicker, essentially.
Yeah.
So they want to
Hit
learn
it with a rare candy.
yeah, exactly. They give it the rare candy and they put it in the moonlight and it becomes an Umbreon. So what they want to do is they want to learn how to treat the Umbreon when right now all that exists in real world is Eevee. Like all that exists in real world is Eevee, and then what were the other ones? Flareon,
Jolteon,
and the water one. I don't know.
What the fuck was that one?
Yeah, I don't know.
I never chose that one.
No one ever did. It's lame. No one wants water Pokemon.
Jolteon was fucking sick.
Jolteon was the best one. Everyone picked Jolteon. So if you remember Pokemon, you have Eevee, and then you have the three originals. It could be Jolteon, Flareon, and then the water one that sucked that no one liked anyway. And then later evolutions of Pokemon, they released Umbreon and some other ones. And there ended up being like 7 different things you could evolve an Eevee into. So gain of function is like, all right, well, currently in the world, we have the Eevee, and we have the Flareon and the Jolteon. What would happen if we advance this evolution a little bit more? And then you get Umbreon. So now they're like, all right, so now we know that Umbreon is like, 100 iterations of evolutions in the future. So now we can prepare ourselves with vaccines and treatments for this Umbreon that doesn't exist in nature yet. It's essentially trying to get ahead of nature is really what gain of function research is.
Vaporeon,
yeah.
No one chose that one.
Sucked. It was the worst.
It's a fucking merman.
Yeah, it's dumb. So that's gain of function research. It's prepare in regards to Pokemon. So, and it's highly controversial, obviously, because something like an Umbreon doesn't exist yet. So if it gets released into the world, no one knows what to do with it. What just happened? What did we just spend the last year and a half dealing with?
A bat.
Yeah, it definitely came from a bat. Are you like, what the fuck, guys? Come on. Like, seriously. Like, I know we fuck around all the time and like we make jokes, but seriously, you're not fucking picking up on this. Like, it's a witch. It weighs as much as a duck. It floats in the water. It's a witch. Like, we have to burn the witch.
But did Fauci tell us that it came from the lab? Because I think we can only listen to him.
Yeah. Imagine people that still are like,
Listening
we
to
have to
him.
listen to him. So my favorite part about this was he had a book. He had a book deal. So while he was supposedly dealing with the greatest pandemic since the Spanish flu, he had time to write a book. And the book was scheduled to release this fall. Talking about how to deal with the world when it's in a pandemic and how he responded to that. You know how long the book was, too?
Tell me it was like 800 pages.
Oh, God, no. It was 80 pages. 80 pages long.
It's a fucking picture book?
It's a magazine. Essentially, that's a magazine. That's like one of the old WWF magazines used to get in the mail.
Yeah.
Probably about the same size. The monthly magazines, I used to get them all the time. Well, they just announced that they pulled his book. They are no longer releasing his book after these emails come out. So it's only a matter of time. There's 3,200 emails. There's a lot of people that have nothing to do right now.
Yep.
They are going to comb through every single one of these emails, and there's going to be a lot more shit that comes out. And this ain't going to end good. It ain't going to end good for, our savior, Anthony Fauci. Good old Tony. Tony ain't gonna make it through 2021.
It's too bad because he had such a good 2020.
Yeah. Imagine that. Like, you're supposedly the person that's supposed to lead us through this pandemic, and then you decide to come out with a book.
It's just fucking Como did the same thing.
Yeah. You know how many copies? I heard this on Drinking Bros. Do you know how many copies his book has sold so far? It's like 40,000. That's like nothing.
Isn't it a quote unquote bestseller?
Yeah. The 40,000 copies.
He's a fucking cunt. No one wants to hear from him.
Yeah. It's a fucking flop. It's a massive flop. Like, it's the whole thing is like.
Well, he wrote a book about how he handled the pandemic before it was even close to being over.
Yeah.
That book released way before the fucking fall.
The book came out like a month ago.
Wait, who? Cuomo's?
Cuomo.
Oh, I thought it came out. Is his name Cuomo?
Yeah.
Oh, Chris Cuomo's a golf instructor.
Chris Cuomo is his brother that's a CNN anchor.
And then Chris Como
teaches
golf.
Yeah, Chris Cuomo is CNN. What's his name? Governor Anthony Cuomo.
Whatever.
Yeah. He's the governor. Fredo. No, Chris is Fredo. Do you understand what you're saying when you call me Fredo?
I thought the book came out earlier than that.
Maybe it did. I thought it came out within the last month. I can't remember what the governor's name is.
Doesn't matter. He's a fucking douchebag.
Andrew Cuomo. Book. You know what's funny? It came out October of 2020.
Yeah, that was like, I thought it did.
Yeah, October of 2020. In the middle, like essentially the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah, before it even got bad.
Yeah. Leadership lessons. That's what it's called.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Andrew Cuomo.
I don't think I'll be taking my fucking leadership from you.
So that's even better. In what? We're in June. 3. In 9 months, it sold 40,000 copies.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's a fucking clown.
Yeah. Honk. So all these fucking losers are going down. All these fucking dickheads. It's going to come out. That's the one good thing about like living in the tech information, like instant world, is that all of these old fucks, because it's all the old fucks. You know what I mean? Like Cuomo is probably in his 60s. I think Fauci's got to be in his 70s or 80s. Like all of these people, like I'm trying to even think of like these other people. Like for a long time, like these creepy politicians, Harvey Weinstein, like all these fucking scumbags were able to live in the shadows and lurk in the shadows doing fucking sketchy shit. Hillary.
Yep.
All of these fucking people were like just scumbags, but forever they could get away with it because there was no instant access to all this information. And now that we have instant access to all this information, you can't hide anything anymore. So if you're a piece of shit, eventually everyone's going to find out that you're a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like you look at fuck is that guy's name? Matt Gaetz, who is he's a representative from some state. I don't know what state he's from. But he's like on the younger side. He's probably like in his 40s. He got popped for soliciting an underage girl.
Nice.
And it's like he's a politician and all this bullshit. Like I think the girl was 17 at the time, and he like people are like, "Whoa, she's 17." It doesn't matter. She's underage. He's in his 40s. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like these people, and this is what I mean. Scumbags are always going to do scumbag shit. And the one good thing about this world and the way information is readily available is that everyone will eventually find out that you're a scumbag and you will get what's coming to you at the end of the day. So believe in karma or not, like give it a definition, call it karma. I don't care. I'm not a fucking, I don't know what that is. Hindu. Like I'm not a Hindu. Like I'm not here like karma. Oh, believe in karma. Like no. It's, if you are a dog shit person, you're going to eventually get dog shit things that happen to you. I'm a big believer in you receive what you put out. Like, I don't need to give it a title and give it a definition and make it spiritual and religious and all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, if you put shit out into the world, you're going to get shit back. And that's just how I feel.
Perfect time for it now.
Yeah.
Fucking no one can get away with anything anymore.
No. Well, I guess you want to start wrapping this up? It's that time.
Can wrap this up.
We've rambled about dumb shit at the beginning and then got really fired up about other things. Or at least I did.
Well, did I fucking close? Motherfucker. You fucking dumb fuck. You son of a fucking, what a fucking idiot.
Idiot.
What a fucking idiot. I gotta pull it back up. I have another victory lap for us.
Oh, let's go. I love victory laps.
Last week, girl came out, wrote a letter about how transgender athletes make running track unfair. She is a woman. And I love this, self-proclaimed fastest high school female in the state of Connecticut.
Okay.
And she claims she's lost 4 state championships, 2 New Englands and a bunch of others, all to transgender runners. So part of what they're doing. So actually, in a couple, and this is, I gotta pull this up again because I'm a fucking moron again. So they allowed transgender athletes in 2017 to run. And 9 women won 15 titles in 3 years. They're also the ones moving on to college. They're getting more of the scholarships. And I mean, they don't get full scholarships for running track, but
yeah,
whatever percent scholarship, they're the ones getting those opportunities.
Transgender women?
Yep. Or no, transgender, whatever, biological males.
Yeah, transgender women.
Okay.
Using the word transgender it's like a double negative. So saying transgender woman means biological male. That's how I remembered. I literally had to remember it, that transgender is like using a double negative.
Or transgender woman is like what they identify as currently.
Correct. Yeah. So by saying a transgender woman, that is a biological male. Double negatives.
Gotcha.
It's not worse.
Well, they're going to the Supreme Court over this.
So let me back that up a little bit. So you said 9 out of 15?
9 females want... 9 transgender women won 15 championships in 3 years.
So,
at the state level.
Quick little bit of math will tell me that is 60%.
No. So they... it's not 9 of 15. It's they've won 15.
Oh.
Now, truthfully, I don't know how many total there are.
Yeah.
I don't know what the percentage is.
Yeah.
But the girl writing this article, 4 straight years lost to a transgender runner.
Yeah.
In the state of Connecticut.
Well, I mean, it's a fact here. Like, if we want to go back to this whole science thing, follow the science. Oh, listen to the scientists. Look at anything. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's sprinting or long distance. Let's use the most extreme examples on either end. The 100-meter dash. Let's look it up. I'm pretty sure Usain Bolt has done the 100-meter dash in 9 seconds, roughly.
Something like
Let
that.
Let me see. Fastest 100-meter dash. So the fastest 100-meter dash, the world record, men's world record, is 9.58 seconds by Usain Bolt. Do you know what the women's world record, the fastest ever recorded by any woman since records were started to keep?
10.5?
Spot on. 10.49.
So a second slower.
A full second slower. Now, that is, people are going to be like, well, yeah, that's dead out sprint. That's, muscle fiber. Men have more fast twitch muscle fiber than female. Okay. All right. Stand by real quick. Because let's look at the fastest time for a marathon. The current world record for men of a marathon is 2 hours, 1 minute, and 39 seconds. Let me see. They don't automatically list the women's one. Pfft, how unwoke of them.
It's not very woke.
Yeah. The world record for women set in 2019. 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 4 seconds.
Yeah, so what was the difference?
About 13 minutes.
Yep. And someone who finishes 13 minutes slower than someone else is, may as well have just not even finished.
Yeah. So these people are like, transgender women, they should be. Look at the statistics. And everyone's going to be like, because this is the other argument. Well, those are the most elite of elite. All right. Okay, fuckface. Go to your local high school. Let's just go to a local high school track meet, because apparently you have so much fucking free time that you can sit here on the internet and argue with people about whether or not transgender women should be allowed to compete against biological women. Okay, dickhead. Go to your local high school's track meet the next time there is one and see what the winning time in the 100-meter dash is for the male. Whatever it is, whatever male there is, see what the winning time is there. And see what the winning time is for the female. Then, I don't know what the longest is. It the 3 mile or the 5K in high school?
No
They might run a 3 mile in high school.
I have no idea what they run.
What's the winning time for the winning male of the 3 mile in high school track? Now, what's the winning time for the female 3 mile in high school track? I guarantee you the male does it faster than the female. But yeah, no, but it's only, you're looking at the elite level. No, you fucking dickhead. It's a fact.
But here's another piece with this. DK Metcalf, what did we say, 10.49?
Yeah.
So DK Metcalf ran his 100, right? And
Yeah.
what did everyone say? They laughed at him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got no technique. Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. Ha, never should have been out there. Oh, look how far back he finished. What a clown. Totally out of his element. Totally out of his league. That's what they said about him.
Yeah.
10.36. He doesn't even run track.
Yeah. Was that at the Olympic trials?
USA track and field event.
Okay. So everyone was shitting all over DK Metcalf for showing up.
Yep. He's got no technique.
No
He's
technique.
too fucking big.
Yep.
Obviously, how can he be expected to go against actual runners?
Right.
10.36.
His shitty technique.
No clue. Out of his element.
His too fat. His too big.
Too slow.
His no idea how to run track. His what are you doing here? Is faster than the women's
best ever.
The all-time best world record of a woman
Ever.
Yeah.
It's not fucking fair to these girls.
No, it's not. It's not. And anybody that's like, well, we have to be fair. Anyone that says we have to be fair, here's something for you. If you're having a conversation with someone about transgender athletes competing in biological categories, and they bring up the word fair, you know right then and there, you can stop the conversation, you can politely walk away, and you can say, have a nice day. I can no longer have this conversation with you.
Yeah, it's not
because if you are looking at the word fair, it is not fair.
No, it's not fair. Because
Well, we have to be fair to the transgender athletes. So by being fair, if you want to live in a world of fair, you're now not being fair to biological females.
yep, they're the only ones who suffer in this situation.
So what you're actually doing now, I'm not saying that someone can't make an actual like legitimate argument for this. I just haven't heard it. I'm not saying it can't be done. And if it can be done and I hear it, I will go along with it. But if someone tries to use the word fair in their argument as to why transgender athletes need to be able to compete, it's not a logical argument. It's not valid. It's not sound. It's not whatever else is in philosophy. It's just not there. We have to be fair to these athletes. No, what you're doing is you're trying to get social points now.
All you're doing is
you're trying to sound good to the people that are around you and say, I care about transgender people. I'm an ally. Well, you can still be an ally and say, it's probably not the best idea to let
we need to figure something else out.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're discriminating against women.
Yes.
Because they can't compete.
Correct. And it's not like a we hate women thing. It's a fact. We just read you the facts of these numbers.
Yep.
They're 13 minutes faster in the most long distance event you can run in, and they're a full second faster in the shortest event. Men run faster than women.
Yep. They do.
I don't know what you want me to say about that.
Nope. This is like, it's the sports are going to be the tipping point. Now, this is also like, just like the woke media just like destroying themselves.
Yeah.
Because like women still are disadvantaged in some realms.
Right.
We had this.
We talked about it with the golf, the golf tournament.
But I'm not even talking. I'm talking. Let's pretend transgender athletes don't even exist. Women still suffer. The WNBA sucks.
Yeah.
No one watches the LPGA.
Right.
There is no professional baseball. There is no professional football.
Right.
Women's soccer every 4 years. Or every 2, because 1 year is an
1 year is Olympic, another year is World Cup.
World Cup.
Imagine that the women's soccer team is more successful than the men's soccer team, and no one still gives a shit about them.
Nope.
No one really gives a shit about either team, but
no, but also unfortunately that's a little bit of a soccer issue too.
yeah, when you talk about like domination on a worldwide stage, the U.S. women's soccer team is like the 27 Yankees. Like they just don't lose.
Yep. Women's hockey once every 4 years.
Yeah.
Or every other once every 4 because it's just the Olympics.
Yeah, the Winter Olympics.
And they typically lose to Canada. They won last time.
Yeah.
But they're already like, because people always talk about it in golf. It's like, because there's a girl from Rockland. It's like, oh, the purses are so small.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they could make more money. Yeah. It would be. You know what would make them make less money? Transgender athletes.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to make a prediction here. What I think could happen is that one of the women's sports will become massively popular because of a transgender woman in the sport that dominates. So let's just use the WNBA as an example, because I think as far as women's sports leagues, the WNBA is probably the top. That being said, it's still
either that or I think it's truthfully either that or the LPGA.
Yeah.
But
so
I don't know.
So I think let's use use the WNBA.
That's the easiest one.
What I think could potentially happen is there's a transgender woman who joins the WNBA. She starts to light it up. She averages a triple-double every night. It brings eyeballs to the sport. People want to watch. People start buying tickets. People start making more money, maybe, because, there's more asses in the seats. That's what it's all about. You sell more advertising space. And now everyone's like, look at this. We have a popularized women's sport. We have now more money available. And then nobody is going to be able to see the satire of the situation. That it took a biological male to join a woman's sport to make it popular. I think that is a legitimate possibility in the next 5 to 10 years.
If you had to give a percent of that happening, where are you at?
51%. I would go more likely than not by literal definition. I think it is more likely than not that within the next 10 years, that scenario happens.
I think the one big barrier to that happening, because I would put it more like 15%.
Like, now I'm not saying that like the WNBA would blow up to be as popular as like the NHL.
No, I know what you're saying.
Because the NHL would be the fourth of the 4 major sports.
Yeah.
But I think the NBA might see an unprecedented rise in sale. Let's say like a 10%. Like if the WNBA is worth, I don't know, $1 billion, that after this transgender woman comes in, it's worth like $1.2 billion. You know what I mean? Like a statistically significant enough where it wouldn't happen normally otherwise. Which unfortunately, I also don't think the WNBA is worth $1 billion.
Probably not.
It's probably like $500 million.
And the reason I put this at 15% of happening is the reason people need to fight for the rights of these people
to party
is because people don't treat them equally.
Yeah.
It's all about equality, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You're a sports fan, aren't you? Mm-hmm. So am I. I know a lot of people who are sports fans. You know a bunch too?
Yep.
What would an ignorant white male who drives viewership of most other sports say to a transgender woman playing in the WNBA?
You don't belong.
That's stupid. That's a guy out there.
Yeah. But
what would women who maybe would be potentially interested in this say to that situation?
that's one less spot for a woman.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
That's not a biological woman. So now you got both sides.
Yeah.
So you have the ignorant side, still ignorant, because the one saying, oh, it's a woman's sport, would now say, oh, it's a guy in a woman's sport. So
Yeah.
you don't convert any of those people. Whether that's a right, wrong attitude, it doesn't matter. It exists. You're not converting any of those people. Because what then you would say is like, yeah, but like, look what she's doing out there. And they go, put her out there with men. She won't do any of that.
Right.
That's the attitude.
Right.
And then if the women are watching, it's their sport, you know, they're supposed to pick up, they're going to look at it. That's not fair.
So I totally get that. And I think that is a very reasonable way to look at it. However, I think we do not live in a reasonable world. I'm going back to
I didn't think that was a reasonable take.
No, I think that's very fair.
I think it's realistic, but it's not reasonable. Like,
So I think that I would go back to saying it's money. I want to stick to strictly a monetary perspective. So, like I said, using my example from before, that the WNBA is worth $1 billion, and then this transgender woman comes in, and now it's magically worth 1.2. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying strictly from money, because it's going to get more advertising. It's going to put more people asses in the seats. Because you're going to have the fucking woke fucking losers that don't care about basketball that are going to go to the game to support this woman because she's so brave.
I don't know if there's enough of them. That's just where I stand on the matter.
Yeah.
I don't see more people going.
Yeah, and that's
because-
fair. I could be wrong. I could
Yeah.
be totally wrong.
Yeah, and so can I.
Yeah.
That's where we differ is I don't think it brings more attention. Yeah, it might Sports Center might couple here and there.
Oh, it would be all over ESPN. It would be every day.
But I think when it really comes to it, in term, because what determines the money is really truthfully viewers, but people attendance. It's attendance and viewers.
Right. Ticket sales.
Yeah.
And advertising.
I see a big problem getting more people in the building and watching.
Yeah, because you could also make the argument too, for every SJW that's going to come in to watch, you would have one.
You might lose someone.
You would lose a reasonable fan that doesn't want to watch, and that's a very fair argument. I think that's legit too. Like I said, I could be totally wrong.
Yeah,
but I'm just kind of going out on a limb and saying that I could see it as a possibility.
No, and I mean this
happen.
country, and I know we talked about it earlier with the fucking dead kids or whatever the fuck, and it's like this country is not gonna ever be fucking all welcoming. It's never going to.
Right.
And sports are not that avenue.
Right. Yeah.
Because of those exact reasons.
Professional sports, by definition, are not welcoming.
Nope.
Less than 1% of the population makes up professional athletes.
Yep.
That is not welcoming.
And like, and then never mind, it's like black players still feel like they're not treated right.
Right.
We're never getting fucking like, and that's just part of what. Like, obviously I know what you're saying. I just don't see it going that way.
Yeah. So
your final thought.
My final thought. I'm gonna switch my final thought. I was gonna do something else, but this goes well with what we were just talking about. So my final thought has to do with Naomi Osaka.
Yep.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, she's a tennis player, professional tennis player. She's a biological female, in case you were wondering.
And competes with women.
Right, for our previous conversation. So she was ranked number 2 in the world. Her big claim to fame was in 2018. She was the one that beat Serena Williams in the Australian Open or the British Open. I don't know, one of the French Opens, one of the tennis opens. So this past week, she was at the French Open. And
is she half black, half Japanese?
Potentially.
Okay.
Truthfully, I could walk by her in the street and not know who she is.
She's definitely Japanese. I don't know if she's also part black.
I can.
Well, you can keep going and I can look it up.
Do a quick Google search. Naomi Osaka.
She's definitely Japanese.
Yes, she would appear to be black and Japanese. So she's 23 years old. She, again, her claim to fame was she beat Serena Williams in 2018 for, let's call it the Australian Open. She's whatever. She's really good. She's really fucking good. However, the things I truthfully have not followed her career at all. I do not follow any women's tennis outside of the Williams sisters whenever they're in the news.
7 career titles, 4 Grand Slams. I don't know what else you want to know.
She's very good.
She was number 1 at one point. She's number 2 right now.
Yeah. So she's ranked number 2 in the world going into the French Open. I think she won her first.
Oh, gross. Nikos would kill me.
Oh.
Half Japanese, half Haitian.
Oh.
He would kill me.
Yeah. So she goes through she gets through the first round. I think she wins her first match. She beats her first opponent. And she is refusing to do press.
Can I add one step to the timeline?
Yeah.
She did say she was not going to do press prior to the tournament.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So she's not doing press. She gets fined $15,000 a day, which if you're a 4-time Grand Slam winner, I know women don't make as much money. Women's sports don't make as much money as the men. You win you win one of the majors in tennis, you got to win at least $1 million, I would imagine.
Oh, you'd be surprised. I'll look it up. Go ahead.
All right. So my whole point is she's a 4-time Grand Slam champion. That means she's won 16 majors.
No. It's like they're called major. So they're called Grand Slams.
Oh, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, instead of calling them majors, they're called Grand Slams. Majors is golf, Grand Slams is tennis.
That's stupid.
So she's won 4 events.
Because I look at something as a Grand Slam being like you hit all of them.
No, that would be sick if she won that, but no.
Yeah.
She's won 4 Grand Slam
she's won
singular events.
She's won 4 majors. So she's got plenty of money, is what I'm trying to say. So her being fined $15,000 a day, it's a fucking drop in the bucket. So then it gets to the point where I don't know what the Women's Professional Tennis League is called, but the WPL, as I will dub them, comes out and says, hey, if you continue to not do press during this, there's a slight chance we might think about disqualifying you from the tournament. And the next day, she comes out and she withdraws from the tournament due to mental health concerns.
No fucking way. What? Dude, in tennis, the women and the men make the same amount of money.
Whoa.
I did not realize that.
Dude, tennis is so woke.
So the French Open, like the total purse is 34 million.
Yeah.
So men's singles wins 1.4, women's singles wins 1.4. Wow. You're right, dude.
Yeah.
I thought it was like golf where it was like, the men make $1 million and the women make like 300,000.
Yeah. No. So she's got legit money. And then you bring in sponsorships, like all that bullshit. She's got plenty of money. So after they come out and say like, hey, we're thinking about disqualifying you, she comes out and says, I'm going to withdraw from the tournament in the middle of the tournament as the number 2 tennis player in the world due to mental health concerns. Now, I've heard a lot of different people talk about this, and I side with the fact that if she has legitimate mental health issues, I hope she gets them situated. I hope, you know what I mean? Like legitimate mental health issues are not a joke. Like that is one of those things like, if you have some shit going on, like I want you to be able to work through your shit and like be good. Like I don't want anyone to suffer. Like I don't ever want anyone to sit there and like deal with those demons. Like I don't wish that upon anybody. So if that is the case, I hope she gets help and I hope she is able to get through it. If she did it because she just didn't want to do press and she didn't want to be there, what the fuck did you think you were getting into as a professional athlete? So I guess she had said in the past she doesn't like doing press. Okay. Well,
who does?
Yeah. Exactly. Point number 1, who does? Point number 2, it is literally mandatory if you are a professional athlete to talk to the media. Because guess what? The media is what makes you your money. If there is no media, there is no money in sports. Like, think about that. Like, if there's no ESPN, there's no NBC Sports, there's no, I don't even know of any other, there's no Nessun. You know what I mean? Like, there's no sports media, there's no money for you to make. So your 1.2 million or 1.4 million doesn't exist. So all of these and I give a tip of the cap to Marshawn Lynch because he hated doing press, but he would still show up.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I'm here so I don't get fined. Marshawn, how did you feel about the game? I'm here so I don't get fined.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
All right, so how do you feel about this when Pete Carroll did this? I'm just here so I don't get fined. He showed up, so he didn't get fined. Okay, nobody likes doing press, but it's part of the thing. And I heard Ross Patterson brought this up on one of his podcasts that I was listening to. And it goes across the board because you see these famous actors, and he used Joaquin Phoenix as an example, which I thought was really good. Because Joaquin Phoenix is one of these guys that comes out and says I don't want to go to award shows. I don't want to do talk shows. I don't want to give interviews. I don't want to do all this. Cool, man. Don't expect to win any awards. Because all of these fucking awards that people choose from are based off of press and how popular you are. It's a popularity contest. And if you don't want to do press and you don't want to talk to the media, go do dinner theater in fucking Topeka, Kansas. and you're going to be awesome, and people are going to love you, and you're never going to have to talk to the media. And it's like, it's what happens. Like, when you become a superstar, when you are the number 2 ranked person in your sport in the entire world, you have to talk to the media. It comes with the territory. So what I would say is, again, if she has actual mental health problems, I wish her the best, and I hope that she gets everything handled. However, what I don't want to happen is to her to turn around and do something like sue professional women's tennis and say, like, she doesn't have to do press because she's got a condition. And, like, if she tries to change the sport, like, don't come back and try and change the way the sport works because you don't like it. Because professional sports leagues don't have to cater to one person.
No.
Because, believe it or not, the league is bigger than one person.
Yep.
Like it or not, even in the NBA is bigger than LeBron James.
Yep. Someone else would just step up.
Exactly. Pick one. Anthony Davis. You know what I mean? Like, for Kevin Durant.
Oh,
like,
dude, Jason Tatum.
Yeah. Oh, Jason Tatum. Yeah, he's just like Kobe. Mm-hmm. So it's like, don't try and change the way things work.
The other hard part with this too is
because you don't like the way it works.
The other part is someone would be willing to take her spot.
Yeah.
3 would love to move to number 2. 4 would love to move to 3, and whoever was a fucking alternate would love to have played the French Open.
Yeah.
So you fucked somebody else over.
Right.
Because you knew you were going to do this. You said it beforehand. Mm-hmm. You knew they were going to fucking fine you. I'm sure that's in the contract.
Right.
When you enter the French Open, there's probably a clause in there that says something about doing press.
Yes.
And you agree to do it by entering the tournament.
Right.
If you need to go get help in coaching, go get it. Do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck you need to do, go do it. But it doesn't, like, you got to do the press. That or you don't play the tournament.
Exactly.
And if you don't want to do the press, then you don't do the tournament.
And if you don't want to do press ever again, and you're comfortable with that, then you can't be a professional athlete.
Yeah, because these are private organizations. It's not, you don't have a right to play in the French Open.
It doesn't work for everybody. I'm trying to think of, like, people. Johnny Manziel. Not that he didn't want to do press, but, like, the limelight was too big for him.
Yep.
And he drank his way out of the league. Like, it happens all the time.
It's
guy from Fall River. The basketball guy who used to come to talk to us in middle school and high school about not doing drugs. Chris Herron.
Yeah, I've never heard. I actually, luckily, have never had to hear him speak.
You know what I mean? Like, it happens all the time. Like, you're really good and you're good enough to be a professional athlete, but you're not built for the spotlight. And guess what? That's okay. It's okay that you're a really great athlete, but you are not the type of person that likes to be in the spotlight. That's fine. There's plenty of other avenues for you. You can be an analyst, which maybe you don't like because you're still sitting in front of a camera, but you're not being grilled by people. If your problem is being grilled and if you have a bad performance and things like that, maybe that's what you can't handle. Go be an analyst. Go do that. Go be a commentator. You have so much fucking money and you're already famous. Start a YouTube channel commenting about tennis, or go be a tennis coach. Go work at, like, a country club and teach young girls how to play tennis. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many other avenues that you can go down. They can still be good and still help tennis and help yourself and not be a professional that's in the limelight because you can't handle the limelight. If that is the case.
I would also just recommend, like, go get a coach. Because really it comes down to stress and anxiety about doing press. And it's like,
get a therapist.
Well, just even like a mental skills coach, like, hey, you can, like, this is how you can answer these questions. This is how you can,
right,
whatever. I don't know. She's won 4 of these things.
Yeah.
I know she's super young. Like, she is, like,
she's
super
23.
young. So,
But it's one of these things too where people today, like the younger gen, I would say us, like people like, I don't know, 30 to 35 and under, it all stems from like this. Now I'm going to sound like old man yelling at a cloud right now, but it all stems from like the everyone gets a trophy thing. And we can't give anybody F's anymore. We have to change the F to an E. You still failed, but you have an E instead of an F. You know what I mean? It's like these little things that have been slowly integrating into life and permeating through, you know, the fuck, man, words are tough today. Through the civilization or like, I don't know, culture, society. Yeah, that's what it is. And it's like people no longer have it hard. People no longer have to deal with adversity, and people no longer have to feel uncomfortable. Because when little Johnny feels uncomfortable in the school, mommy picks up the phone and calls the school and says, why did Johnny not get picked in kickball? Or why was he picked last in kickball today? Or why did little Johnny get a D in math? Well, Mrs. Johnny's mom, Johnny got a D in math because that's the grade that he earned.
Because he averaged a 66 in the class.
Yes. I can show you his test scores. I can show you he missed 7 homework assignments this quarter. I can show you the numbers. This is what led to get a D.
As a math teacher, I'm pretty good at this.
I didn't do what alleged one of the professors at Bridgewater used to do, is stand at the top of the stairs and throw all the papers in the air, and whichever ones landed on different steps is the grade that you got. I have a legitimate way to actually grade your son. So your son averaged a 66 in my class, which is why he got a D. It's little shit like that I think. Now I'm kind of like being a little grandiose here, but like it's things like that now have this younger generation. We're seeing it in professional sports already. Look at
I don't want to play for this team.
Yes, look at Jason Tatum. Like everyone is ripping Jason Tatum locally because like, oh, he can't handle adversity, or he can only play when the team is up, or you know, all this dumb little shit like that. Or Marcus Smart, he can't handle criticism, and all the like. And then again, like fucking what's his name? Devin Booker, or anybody that's like, I don't want to play for this team, or you know, like that's what happens in professional sports now. Well, I don't want to play for this team. Trade me.
Yeah,
I'm not playing for this team.
Yeah, or I won't resign here.
Yeah, it's like, well, this is how the fucking shit works, dude. It's called adversity. Like, I know you've never had any your entire life, because you've been handed everything, and mommy and daddy have fucking cleared the way for you. But like, this is the real world, so fucking get used to it. You know what I mean? Like I had parents come to me when I coached JV lacrosse at Milton Academy. This was years ago. JV lacrosse. A parent asked, why didn't my son start? You know what my response was?
He's not good enough to?
No, it wasn't his turn to start. We rotated starters because
it's JV.
It's JV. Everybody plays.
Say it's JV at a private school like that because you have to play sports.
Yeah.
So the JV teams are absolutely fucking terrible.
Yes. And it's like there's no like set starters. Like there was maybe like 3 kids that started every game because they were just nasty. Like they were probably good enough to be on varsity, but they were like freshmen or sophomores, so like there was no room for them. So yeah, like we rotate start. Well, how come my son doesn't start? I don't know. Are you coming to the game on Tuesday? Because he's scheduled to start on Tuesday. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, this is the type of shit that exists out there.
Yep.
So that's how we got someone quitting. The number 2 ranked tennis player in the world quitting a tournament.
Yep. Doesn't want to do media.
Because parents call and complain why their kids are
You're
not
right.
getting-
That's exactly why it happened.
Yeah. I told you I was going to be old man yelling at a cloud. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, fuck. That's going to do it for us. This is another long one today. So thanks for sticking around with us. If you're watching on YouTube at this point, you just go ahead and click the fucking subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Tell everybody you know about the show. Whatever streaming service you're listening on, subscribe over there. If you're on Apple, go to the iTunes store, leave us 5 stars, write a review, and keep sharing the show. We got more people. There's a couple of people in Texas, a couple of people in Virginia, Florida, Pennsylvania. So we're out there, we're getting there slowly but surely. Eventually, maybe not. I got other news, but I'm going to save that for my final thought for the next show. It was going to be today, but I'm going to just kick it to the next episode. You can find us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Our Twitter is Sarcasm_speaks. And the Facebook page is just Sarcasm Speaks. So until next time, good night.